Hey guys, Brad here. I brought a new deck to locals today. I built Zarc. This deck did a lot better going 3 and 2. I did a lot better than I thought I would. Anyway, this is the build. First, you want to run 3 of the new Supreme King Gate Magician. This card is awesome because first you want to place it in your scales, and then you destroy it to get skill 0 from your deck. Supreme King Gate 0, you know? And then while you have Supreme King Gate 0 in your Pendulum Zone, in this card, and you have another copy in your hand, you can activate this card, send one of the dimensional dragons to the graveyard, like Crystal Clearwing, for example. And you can special summon it, and then when summoned, it lets you search out any card that mentions Zarc in its text. Next up, you got Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. You mainly just want to use the search effect where you discard, pay 500, and search any level 8 or lower Dragon Pendulum monster. And that is not a hard one, so if you have like all 3 in your hand, you can get like 3 searches. Next up, another searcher. Perform Battle Skull Acrobat Joker. This lets you search out any Odd Eyes, Perform Battle, or Magician Pendulum when it's normal summoned. Next up, again another searcher. We got 3 Supreme King Darkworm. This card lets you search out your gates. So you want to search Supreme King Gate Magician to get the combo off. And if this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon it, which is nice. Next up, we got 2 Supreme King Gate Lightworm. This is one of the newer cards too. This card is actually pretty cool. First up, if you control Zarc on the board and this card's in your Pendulum Zone, your opponent summons a monster, you can summon it to the board. You can also change the one monster's level. Say you have this on board and you along with this. Basically, you want to target this and change one of their levels and attribute to that of the other monster. But you hardly ever do that. Next up, when this card is normal special summon, you get to add a Pendulum monster from your face up in your extra deck back to your hand. So you just say you target this and add it to your hand. You can then immediately Xyz or Synchro summon. To where that you want to synchro into this to just get a new guy on board. Next up, we got Harmonizing Magician. When this card is special summoned, you can summon another magician from your deck. And if this card is in the scales, all your face-up monsters gain 100 attack for each face-up magician pendulum in your extra deck. Now for the one-ups, I run 1 Black Fang Magician. You normally adjust as a target for this. 1 Perform Battle Celestial Magician, which is basically the magician version of Zarc. It has an insane effect when it's special summoned, especially if you control a synchro monster. Its effects varies when it's special summoned depending on what you control. If you control a synchro monster, your opponent cannot activate any monster effects for the entire turn, which is insane. Next up, Supreme King Gate 0, which is basically what you want to set with this card. Astrograph Sorcerer. We all know why. And next, I run a 1/4 century Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Which, honestly, I thought was pretty cool. And for the last cards are just hand traps. We got 3 Ash and 3 Droll. Alright, that's it for the monsters. Next up, for the spells, we got Wings of Light. This card, first primary effect, you get to search out either a Supreme King Gate or one of your Supreme King Dragons. You can add it to your hand. But if you control a Zarc, you can actually special summon it. Next up, you run Dragon Shrine. Use this card. Once activated, you send Darkworm to the graveyard. And use Darkworm's effect to summon itself, and then use its effect to search. And for the one-ups, we got Pendulum Evolution. This card is actually insane. First up, say you have these 2 cards in your hand. You can actually send this card back to your deck with this effect. Search out a Pendulum monster with 2500 attack with a different name. You just search out this, Astrograph, or Gate Pendulum. There's another ability to where if you summon a pendulum that was face down in the extra deck, you can then immediately pendulum summon again, giving you a second pendulum summon. And finally, you can target one of your Zarc monsters, and that monster can attack each one of your opponent's monsters once that turn. And finally, you run 1 call by, just for the hand trap negation. And for the trap cards, we run 3 infinite impermanents. Then we run 1 Soul of the Supreme King. Pay half your life points, summon Zarc from your extra deck, but its effects are negated. And then, if your opponent happens to activate a spell card, you can banish this plus Zarc. Summon any number of the 4 dimensional dragons. So long as it's 1 copy each. Next up, for the final trap, we run Soul of the Supreme Celestial King. This card lets you fusion summon Zarc, get your onboard nuke. So long as you tribute a Pendulum monster with 2500 attack. Alright. Now for the extra deck. I run 2 Supreme King Zarc and 1 Odd Eyes Archray Dragon. 1 Supreme King Zarc is to summon off of this and the other of this. Now, honestly, we all know this effect. When it's summoned, basically it nukes the entire board. And then if it happens to deal damage or destroy an opponent's monster by battle, let me see. Yeah, when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon a Supreme King Dragon from your extra deck or main deck. Next up, when it is also, it cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects, but if it is having to be destroyed, it gets sent to your pendulum. You can activate the effect, place it in your pendulum zone, and your opponent cannot, is basically out of luck because while it's in the pendulum zone, your opponent cannot activate fusion, exceeds, or synchro monster effects. Next up, we got Odd Eyes Archray Dragon. This card you can just cheese out by tributing a Zarc. And normally, if the Zarc I summoned off the Soul Trap card, I would just tribute to summon this. It lets you complete the scale, and also if it's destroyed, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. And you can actually special summon this card back from your pendulum zone, believe it or not, due to its pendulum effect. Next up, I run Starving Venom Predatory Fusion Dragon. Honestly, this is just for the fusion summon of Zarc. Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon for the Omni Negate. Odd Eyes Rebellion Exceeds Dragon, so another fusion target. Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, because when this card's sent to graveyard, it'll let you bring out Vortex just to get that Omni Negate. The Synchros, I actually run both Crystal Clearwing and Crystal Wing. Depending on my matchup, is the one I'll send off of Supreme King Gate Magician in order to summon her. Next up, I run 1 Borderload Savage Dragon. Sorry. Long day. Anyway, just for more Omni Negate, and for another onboard nuke, Supreme King Dragon Clearwing. And for the links, I run Beyond the Pendulum, Exceed the Pendulum, and Appaloosa. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.